All right, we're ready for healthy hips. So for this class, if you could have a chair handy, and if you don't have a yoga block, or if you have a big book or something that you're willing to put on the floor and put your foot on, that would be great too. We're going to start on our backs, lying on your back. And we're going to inhale. So if you were in the Happy Knees class yesterday, we started in the same way with the pelvic rock. But this time, I want you to take your focus on the pelvis and the pelvis moving around the heads of the femur. So as you rock, you're just gliding the pelvis and the hip sockets around that stable femoral head. We're going to rock back and forth. And notice if any muscles are working. And then come back into the center. Now from here, we're going to be heavy on the right side, rock our pelvis to the right, and reach the left knee away from you. And now you're imagining that those femoral heads, as you reach the right knee away from you and rock to the left, are driving the rock of the pelvis. So you're just reaching one knee away from you and rocking to the right, left knee away from you, rocking to the right. Roll through the center as you bring that knee back, and then reach your right knee away from you and rock towards the left. Feel that connection. Be easy in the back of your body. And then come back to center. Easy in the back of your body. And back to center. Easy. And back. Easy. And back. Now from here, you're going to rock your pelvis towards your tailbone. Rock your pelvis towards your belly button. And then roll over to the side. So you're going to rock your pelvis around the top side to the other side. And then go back to the top side and go to the other side. So instead of going straight across the back of your pelvis, you're just rolling through the top of your pelvis. Going back and forth. And then let's do the bottom half. So now roll toward your thigh, your tailbone, your other thigh, and the side. And your thigh, your tailbone, the other thigh, and the side. And let's do 3 more like that. Side, 2 more. And 1 more. Really moving your pelvis. Now from here, we're going to go in a circle. So rock your pelvis towards your belly button. Go all the way to the side, all the way to your thigh, all the way to your tailbone, to the other side, to the side, and up. 1 more time, that direction. Allowing your legs to lead this motion, not by pushing into your feet, but by moving your femoral heads, the tops of your thighs. And let's go in the other direction, moving those femoral heads in the socket, the tops of your thigh, to drive the circle that you're making with your pelvis. Your feet are light on the ground. And then come into the center. Now from here, we want to add some stability. So your tailbone is heavy, and you're going to bring one knee up. And you're going to push that knee into your hand and push your hand into the knee. And then release. And we'll do that 3 times. Press your thigh into the hand. Press your hand into the knee. And again. Press. Now take your hand to the outside of the thigh. Now press your thigh out and press your hand in. And again, so nothing's moving through space, but you are actively pushing your hand against the outside of your thigh. And 1 more. And then the inside. Press your thigh in, press your hand in. And again, press your thigh in, press your hand in. And now hold on to the back and press that thigh away from you. And again, press that thigh away from you. And one more. And now put your hand on top of the knee. Let your lower leg relax and just make some circles. And then go in the other direction, just finding ease in the front of the hip. And then put that leg down. Wiggle a little bit, and then bring the other leg up 3 times. Press the thigh into the hand, press the hand into the thigh. 1. And release. 2. And release. 3. And release. And now the outside. Press your thigh out, press your hand in. And release. Press your thigh out, press your hand in. And release. 1 more. And the inside. Press it. And out. And press it. And out. 1 more. And out. Now press your thigh into your hand. And back. And in. And back. Now we're going to play with the opposing forces that happen in the pelvis. So you're going to bring both knees up. You're going to have your left hand to the back of your right knee and your right hand to the front of your right. Left hand to the back of the left knee, right hand to the front of your right knee. Now press your left thigh into your left hand and your right thigh into your right hand. And do that 3 times. 2. And 3. And then switch. Right hand to the back of the right knee, left hand to the front of the left knee, and then press into your hands, thighs into your hands 3 times. 2, 3. Now, left hand to the outside of your left knee, right hand to the inside, and now press into your hands. 2, and 3, and other side, press. 2, and 3. And then from here, put 1 foot down and then the other. Now this is the fun trick. Try that pelvic rock again and just notice how much more movement you have. And just do a few circles all the way around. Feel the ease and the movement of your low back after really waking up the hip socket. And from here, now we're ready for the bridge. So you'll take an inhale. Exhale, roll your pelvis toward your belly button. Lift your hips up into the air. All the way up. Inhale at the top. Exhale, roll all the way back down. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, roll up. All the way. Inhale at the top. Exhale, roll back down. Inhale. Exhale, roll up. Inhale at the top. Exhale, roll back down. Inhale. Last one. Exhale, roll through your spine. Roll all the way up. And roll back down. Great. From here, we're going to move into the side plane or the transverse plane. And you're going to let your tailbone be heavy. Now inhale, just open your knee out to the side. Find control of that hip socket. And then bring your knee in. And then open the other knee out to the side. Now here, we're moving the leg without moving the pelvis. So we're opening our inner thigh. Inhale, open that knee out to the side. Exhale, come back in. Inhale, open your knee out to the side. Exhale, come back in. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now open both knees out to the side. And come on in. And out to the side. And come on in. Out to the side. And come on in. And then send your knees to one side. And back to the center. And send your knees to the other side. Back to the center. So here we think about many things, but what I want you to think about as we're doing these knee reaches or knee drops is the hip sockets. We played a lot with the femur bones driving the pelvis. So how are your femur bones, the top heads of your femur, the tops of your thighs moving your pelvis now? What do they do to make the pelvis move? And just to let yourself explore this as you drop your knees from side to side. How is your pelvis being affected by the position of your thigh bones in the hip sockets? All right. And now that we've really worked on the mobility of our hips, it's time to really strengthen the side of our legs. So lengthen your legs out long. Reach long through your waist. Be connected ribs to hips. So you don't want your ribs to pop forward. You don't want them to sink back. You want to find length and good kind of tension right through this waist here. Fingertips are on the ground. And exhale, lift that leg up and lower it down. You're lifting your top leg to about 45 degrees or as high as you can without your pelvis sinking towards your waist. And lift and down and lift. And lift, and lift, and lift, and then stay here and press back, and lift, and down. You might not be able to get to 45 here, and down, lift, and lift, and lift, and lift, and come forward, lower down, lift, and lift, 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 and lift. And let's try the other side. Let's get those leg lifts in. Legs long, long through your waist. Exhale as you lift. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, press back and lift. 2, 3, 4, 5, kick forward, lower down and lift. 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. Now from here, we're going to come up onto our hands and knees. And on your hands and knees, I want you to curl your toes underneath you and stretch the bottom of the feet as much as you can. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Now reach your tailbone for the ceiling. Now the challenge here is you don't want to reach your tailbone for the ceiling at the same time dropping your ribs. So push into your hands, lift your ribs up, but keep that tailbone reaching for the ceiling. And then sit back towards your heels. And then push your big toes into the ground and come forward. And then sit back towards your heels, stretching the bottom of your foot, but also reaching that tailbone up and press forward. And sit back. And come forward. And sit back. And come forward. One more, sit back. And come forward. Now lengthen the right leg out behind you. Open that right hip and pour your weight into the left knee. And then fold that hip back over. And then open, pour your weight into the left knee. And fold over. 2 more. And in. And last one. And in. And try the other side. Lengthen that left leg out. Fold, open that hip. And lower down. Open your hip. And lower down. Open your hip. And lower down. Open your hip. And lower down. From here, we're going to come to sitting on our hip with our knees bent. You want your knees lined up with your pelvis and your hand underneath you. And let's go on to our forearm just to save some wrist. Now the idea here is to use the bottom hip to lift the pelvis up into the air. So you're going to push into your elbow, push your knees into the ground, and that activates muscles on the bottom side of the hip to lift your hip up, and then put them back down. And lift your hip up, and put it back down. Lift your hip up, and put it back down. Lift your hip up, put it back down. One more, lift your hip up, put it back down. Other side. Elbow underneath you, connect through your ribs, knees underneath you, lift your hip up, put it back down. Lift your hip up, put it back down. Lift your hip up, put it back down. One more. Now here's a little trick. We're going to go back to the first side. On the first side, I want you to keep your heels together, but slightly lift your top thigh. That way you can't overuse the inner thigh of the top leg to do this action. Pushing into your elbow, slightly lift that top thigh. Push in, lift that hip. And lower down. 2 more. And lower down. 1 more. And lower down. Other side. It's just fun to roll from side to side. Elbow underneath, little heels together, lift that top knee. Press down into your knee, lift. And lower down. And lift. And lower down. And lift. And lower down. Okay. Now part of healthy hips is ankle mobility. So we're gonna grab the chair that you have. It can also be your coffee table, anything that's a little higher. You're gonna stand with 1 foot right on the chair and square off your hips. Now we're gonna really think about this standing leg. So I want you to send your pelvis over the arch of your feet to start. And then push the big toe of your foot that's on the ground into the ground and let that propel you forward. And then push the big toe of the foot that's on the chair and let that take you back. Big toe foot on the ground propels you forward. Big toe foot on the chair takes you back. Foot on the ground, foot on the chair. Foot on the ground, foot on the chair. 1 more, foot on the ground, foot on the chair. Last one, foot on the ground, foot on the chair. Other side. Foot on the ground pushes you forward. Foot on the chair pushes you back. Foot on the ground. Foot on the chair. Foot on the ground. Foot on the chair. Foot on the ground. Foot on the chair. 1 more. Come back. And 1 more ankle mobility exercise. This is where a yoga block, if you have one, if you don't, no worries, a big book, a newspaper, anything that has a couple inches off the ground that you're willing to put the ball of your foot on. And you're going to step as close to that as you can. And then I want you to push the ball of your foot into the object as if you could, like a laser, melt that object into the ground. Push, push, push. And then stay in the same position. Now this is an impossible task, but you're still going to ask it of yourself. Try to lift those toes up and lift the ball of the foot away from the object. And then we're going to go back and forth. Push into the object and then lift away. And notice that when your knee is straight, push in and lift away, that the actions that you're asking of affect muscles right at the top of your thigh. When you push down, you might feel something right underneath your glute. And when you lift up, you're going to feel something all the way in your quads. And press down and lift up. One more. Press down and lift up. And then bend that knee. And you're going to try the other side. I'll go this way so you can see. Pressing your foot down, standing tall. Press down into the foot. And then lift up. Press down. And 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 lift up. And lift up. And then go ahead and stand with your feet right next to each other. And center your pelvis over the arch of your feet and feel the warmth around your pelvic girdle and how that work helps you find the stability and balance. And close your eyes and take a few breaths here. And then from here, pick up one leg. Now, if you need to be close to a wall to stand, that's fine. You're going to pick up one leg, grab onto that knee. And like I said, if you need a wall, but notice when you pull your knee up as high as it will go, the hip automatically kicks in on the standing leg. And feel that strength. And then put that foot down. And like I said, if you need a wall to help you balance, that's just fine. And pick up the other knee. And pull it up. Pull it up so much that you find that strength in the hip. And then one last integration exercise. We'll play with weight shifts. Big toe lines up with the arch of your feet. Shift your weight back to your pelvis. And shift your weight forward. And now, just like we did in the pelvic clock, I want you to feel how this movement in your thighs, it's subtle, but it stabilizes your pelvis. So forward, and then back, and forward, and then back, and forward, and back. And take the other foot in front. Shift forward. Take your mind's eye to your femur heads. How is the subtle movement that's happening in your hip socket helping you stay out of your back and out of your knees? Little known fact, no, it's very widely known, is that healthy hips also means healthy low back and healthy knees. So it's a full body experience. And forward. And back. And forward. Good. All right. Thank you. That's our Healthy Hips class. If you're signed up for the 10 a.m., you'll have a link in your email. That's all I'll say. That's good. You'll have a link in your email. And I'll see you in about 5 minutes. Otherwise, I'll see you when I see you. Thank you for coming to Healthy Hips.